Jacob Wilkins with Reid Brignac ahead of today's game against Reading. Reid, thanks as always for the time. Let's talk about the first thing that comes to mind when I see yesterday's game, 3 sacrifice flies, including the go-ahead one. How important are those fundamentals? How gratifying is it for you to see it?
Yeah, we've kind of gone through our struggles this year with runners on third base with less than 2 outs, and we just continuously talk about the importance of not putting too much pressure on yourself in those situations, and the average major league coming through in those situations about 50%. So like if we feel pretty good if we're around that mark, and it's just something that we talk about the importance of, like I said, not getting too worked up over the opportunity, and just getting a good pitch and elevate something and get into the outfield. And it was nice to see the guys come through yesterday. And
Alex Ramirez, who got off to a hot start, then slowed down a little bit, but for him to get that go-ahead sac fly, multi-hit game, what's allowed him to get back on track?
I think just getting better at being ready for the fastball. He hit some fastballs yesterday early in the count. He wasn't waiting around, being a little more aggressive. He's had a really good eye at the plate this year, and he hasn't chased a whole lot. Over the last couple of weeks, he's done a little bit more of that. So trying to get him back in zone and being ready for fastballs, and when he gets them, to be ready to swing.
Let's start with Nolan McLean, the hitter. The RBI hit yesterday looked pretty comfortable making his Double-A debut.
Yes, he looked very comfortable. Really good at bats. Had good conversations in the dugout with his teammates about the pitcher. Just looked very engaged into the game and locked in, which is great to see. I'm excited to see what he does tonight on the mound. But he's adding some power to our lineup. I think his first hit was 108 off the bat, so he has the ability to impact the baseball and do damage. So that's something that we're excited to see him do.
You ever play with a two-way player or manage a two-way player before?
Don't think so. No, he's the first one that I managed. I can't think of anyone off the top. Obviously, Shohei.
Right.
But,
right.
It's a rarity. It's not something that happens often. But I think the Rays drafted a guy a couple years back, I think out of Louisville. McKay, I think was his name.
Yeah.
And he was a two-way guy for a while too. But it's a unique thing, and it's pretty cool to see.
Seems like Kevin Parada finding his stride last couple of days, especially after he had that torrid end to the Portland series.
Yeah, he's definitely having better at bats. I love seeing him take his walks and not try to do too much at the plate. And again, he's another one, like, we had to get on the fastball. We had to start being ready and aggressive on the fastball, and that mindset. As soon as you step into the batter's box, it might be the first pitch that you get. Be ready to fire, and he's done a great job.
Paul Gervais coming back. Nice to have him as an asset out of the pen in the ninth.
Yeah, Paul's back to his usual self. Back's doing better. He's it's just a luxury for us to have him, including Wilkin and Clenny and Trey, that the guys have all had experience this year and last year of closing games. So he definitely adds more length to our bullpen, and I was just really happy to see him out there. He loves to play baseball.
Oh, yeah.
It's a big thing for him. It was tough for him being on the IL. But just his energy and just how happy he was being out there, I was very excited for him.
You've had already a team that's had a lot of speed and that can steal bases. To add Omar De Los Santos right off the bat, that was pretty cool to get that quick stolen base.
Yeah, that's his game. He's got an elite tool and speed, and our job is to get him prepared for that potential role. But keep helping him, educate him on when good times to run. It's just not get in and run first pitch every time. We're going to have to pick counts and do some homework and help educate him on good times to go, when depend on the catcher and the pitcher's times to the plate. But he has an elite speed tool. Like it puts a lot of pressure on the defense. I'm just excited to watch him go out there and do his thing as well.
Brandon Sproat, he gives you 7, but what really impressed me was after he gives up those back-to-back homers, he faced those 2 guys again and handled them. What do you see in terms of his mental toughness?
Yeah, just the ability to let those things go. It's part of it. That quick, forget about it, move on to the next guy, so what, get back and execute a pitch right after that. And to be able to go 7 innings after giving up a couple home runs like he did, shows a lot of mental toughness of, like, I'm gonna pitch my game, and yes, sometimes I'm gonna give up hits and home runs, but I'm gonna continuously attack the strike zone and put the pressure on the opposing team, and he did a great job of that.
A lot of good stuff from yesterday. Reid Brignac, thanks as always for the time.
Thanks for having me.